Today we're going to be taking a look at the Brawler class formerly known as Cole, going over the recent changes in Op 5 and new best card setups for him in Horde and Escape. So, real quickly going to go over some of these changes, and that is now he has a fuel tank card. He now has the Scorcher Mastery, and I'm going to get into these in a minute. There are some notes on those two right there. Well, the Scorcher at least. His melee damage resistance was reduced at max level from 70 to 60. His inner fire got 17% reduction, and damage dash got 3%. His pyromaniac card got a boost, which would be nice, but I'll get into why it actually does not matter at the moment. And he got an assault rifle damage perk changed over to an all damage perk, which is actually good for him. So I'm going to start off with some information on the Scorcher, and that is currently Scorcher Mastery actually does not add damage. This card does absolutely nothing. Fuel Tanks works, it gives you more ammo. Pyromaniac does not give you extra damage with the Scorcher, regardless of what cards you put on, Scorcher Mastery on or not. Glow and Slow does not slow enemies when using the Scorcher. All the Glory does work. You can actually explode enemies. They have to be in very close proximity to deal damage, but you can use that with the Scorcher. That will work. Soothing Warmth does not work, which would be really the ideal card. I mean, if you're going to run a Scorcher setup, if it did work, and I'll get into that right now, I would probably do Perk Up, Fuel Tanks, Scorcher Mastery, Pyromaniac, and Soothing Warmth. And even if you wanted, you could probably drop Fuel Tanks for all the glory and just swap out two Scorchers on a weapons locker and be fine. But especially with the active on the Scorcher, you do damage to yourself quite frequently. So Soothing Warmth would be really ideal. And then you would actually get the ability to use your ability. Keep using double words in a row. Anyway, yeah, you would get your ability to use your ability quite frequently, so that would be pretty sweet. But on to what can actually be used with him right now. He still only has really one viable setup. There's no longer a Marcus that can get his ultimate for 35, 45 waves. So you can't sit there with the actives. Trying to get the actives and burn enemies just through standard actives, it's not that great. But his tackle setup is still not bad, and it actually did get a buff. So his all damage perk, while it does, oh, I forgot if I said, but the all damage perk, just a quick note, also does not work with the Scorcher, but it does work with his tackle. So you can still keep inner fire perk up, soothing warmth, torch tackle, and damage dash. And if you want to be more aggressive and have less survivability, but a little bit more fun, you can also drop soothing warmth for all the glory. Personally, I'd rather just almost never go down and keep getting stim, especially with the all damage perk working for the tackle. It makes it even easier to kill the enemies. You don't gotta sit there and tackle them forever. Other than that, I don't really think there's any more notes on him. The Trash Ball Pro card was reduced from 70 to 60, which isn't a big deal. And yeah, not much has changed with Cole. It would be really cool if you could use the Scorcher. Ideally, I actually do think the Scorcher is a nice weapon to have on him, since if you are playing him and you are going with the tackle setup, then you're always pretty much looking for that close quarter. And sometimes it might just be nice to torch a few things, jump back, and then jump in and tackle them. Do a little bit of damage. They got that group in there that it's not really ideal to tackle in, but maybe you can scorch them instead. The Scorcher does a lot of damage, and you can just get groups real easy with it. You just got to be careful, especially on high level difficulties and late waves. But ideally, I do really like the Scorcher and like a GL or a Scorcher and long shot or torque bow. Torque bow's great. I really love the torque bow. Something long range and the Scorcher for his close range. Definitely like that for his weapon loadout. Also, if you ever need to sit back on a boss wave, his perk once you got that all damage, and I only would do the health and the all damage, so he only has 2 perks, so he's a pretty cheap character to do the perks on. But with that all damage at 50%, he's also not bad just sitting back with the salvo and a tri-shot on a boss wave. You're not go you don't have to worry about going down and somebody else getting you up. You're more in the back and with the team. But yep, that's all my notes on Cole, and I would say new best card setup, but it hasn't actually changed. His best card setup is exactly the same. We'll see what happens when they actually fix the Scorcher. It's broken on Lizzie as well. I mean, they released a new weapon. It's all sorts of fucked up. I'm so shocked. See what happens when they fix it. It might be very interesting if they fix it because it is very powerful. If it actually did 70% extra damage plus 100% extra damage and the all damage perk worked on it, it would be a monster. It would be a true monster. I don't know if that's why they haven't done that. I mean, this obviously should work. I mean, this card, Scorcher Mastery, 70% extra Scorcher damage. That should do extra Scorcher damage. It simply does not. I tested it the same exact numbers. I tested it with 10 damage, 1 damage, 0 damage on the perks. Same damage. The Scorcher's just completely broken. You can run fuel tanks, just FYI, I'll say that again. And I'll leave this video at that. I hope that helps.